Welcome to another episode of Unleashing You. At Unleash You, we believe that knowledge is power, and we love sharing both. Ever heard the old joke about what kind of engineer God is? 4 engineers. We're sitting around one day trying to figure out what kind of engineer God is. The first engineer says, I think God is a mechanical engineer because of joints and muscle and sense of balance. The other 3 nod their heads and say, yeah, it could be. The second engineer says, I think God is an electrical engineer because of the nervous system and neural network. The other 3 nod their heads and say, yeah, could be. I won't finish out the joke about what the civil engineer thinks, but the idea here is an adage as old as the Stone Age. When the only tool you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. There's a lot of hype and information out there around AI. Most organizations are wrestling with the idea of AI readiness, but much of the advice to organizations in preparation for AI deployment is getting your data center ready, getting workplace infrastructure ready, and getting the workforce ready. None of these suggestions and recommendations are wrong per se, but it leaves out 2 of the most critical and underappreciated components of readiness: mindset and context. Today, we'll talk about context and not focus much on the techs and specs. We're not here to discuss what model to use, nor how much compute power do you need, all the effort in training the model. Instead, here's a snapshot of conversations happening across organizations. IT team. Our data center is ready. Our infrastructure is ready. We've selected the model. We've sent people to courses about AI. Let's train our model. Rest of the organization, great, train the model on what? IT team, our data. Rest of the organization, what data, or worse? Sure, here's our data. We last looked at it 5 years ago, but we're sure it's fine. The model rolls out and no one uses it. Why? It lacks context. We have a hammer and AI is a nail. The biggest challenge with AI adoption and utilization isn't in the techs and specs. It's not data center redundancy. It's not what model of AI to use. It's in feeding the AI. Remember the old 80s acronym, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. Welcome to the biggest readiness requirement for AI. Organizations have not implemented cultures of knowledge sharing. Our people have not developed rigor around documentation, not just in the curation or creation of knowledge, but in the upkeep of it. Our organizations are full of knowledge silos, and those silos are individuals. We haven't sold our teams on sharing the knowledge that's inside their heads with the rest of the collective. So once someone walks out of the building, all of that knowledge walks with them. AI will never know about it. Context will be the singular differentiator between effective AI rollout and failure. Context will be the difference between realizing value from AI and being left behind. Documentation, sharing knowledge, and having operational rigor to maintain up-to-date documentation is the first true step towards AI readiness. And each organization can take this step today.